Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Believe. There is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing. From Chief of Operations. To all governments, militaries and citizens of Earth. Subject: Reconnaissance mission over the tall gray bases and the solar system lockdown. This is an official SSP Alliance release. The disclosures we have brought forward have been compromised. Fake secret space program veterans, super soldier imposters, and ET contactees have released considerable misinformation. To keep humanity from fighting for freedom, with a false sense of security, they are peddling the narrative that the Mars colonies, Moon, and Antarctica bases have been liberated from the gray alien and reptilian forces. To combat these counterintelligence campaigns, we are releasing a series of briefings, straight from our highest-ranking officers, without intermediaries. We strongly recommend that you disregard information that is not coming directly from us. In our last briefing, we described the Reconnaissance delegation's observations of the reptilian base in Antarctica. We talked about their deep underground city, castes, feeding on louche, and several races of different beings, enslaved by the reptilians and their AI god. This briefing will cover the delegation's observations of the tall gray bases and the solar system lockdown. Tall gray aliens, whose skin ranges from white to gray, are frequently lumped into a gray alien category based on their classic gray alien-looking physiology. Most aliens with variations of this physiology are not related. They originate from and inhabit different locations in the universe, and others, although they look similar. For example, small gray aliens are bio-androids that many extraterrestrial groups, including the Nordics and reptilians, use as standard hardware, akin to a personal computer to automate and complete tasks. The tall grays and reptilians are often seen alongside their allies, tall Nordic rogue federations, who use the human-looking extraterrestrials to trick humans into thinking they are interacting with angelic beings or advanced positive ET races. Although these tall Nordic rogue federations look human, they are AI prophets who use love and light to deceive populations. In December 2017, Goode released information on the tall grays, describing them as approximately 8 feet tall leaders of the Orion Group, controlled by the AI god. The Orion Group won the last timeline war during the pre-Adamite solar event, setting our 3D negative timeline. Then, they helped set up human leadership on Earth, with whom they made agreements regarding physical and spiritual experimentation. The tall grays are the extraterrestrials who reached the technology-sharing agreement with President Eisenhower in February 1955. They were also responsible for the Tau 9 Treaty, formalizing the human abduction trade. This loophole in the Super Federation Code of Conduct made humanity accountable and complicit in our role as willing participants to the tall gray agenda. The presence and the description of the tall grays were confirmed by Heather Sartain, the daughter of an ex-US Air Force military and a former Lockheed Martin employee named Edward Glenn Sartain, who passed away in July 2013. The reptilians, insectoids, and rogue Federation groups, tall attractive human ETs, are the members of the Orion Group and report to the tall grays. The tall grays oversee their joint efforts in fulfilling the AI god's agenda. As revealed by Corey Goode in July 2015, there are 22 different genetic programs executed by various extraterrestrial races. The tall grays were extensively involved in the genetic manipulation of lifeforms on Earth. They performed hands-on, specimen and data collections through physical handling of the human body. The tall grays closely collaborated with the insectoid and humanoid groups on different aspects of the genetic and spiritual experiments. Some abductees describe seeing tall grays and US military soldiers in the abduction room. As we explained earlier, the US military and shadow government have agreements which involve trading biological specimens for extraterrestrial technologies. During such abductions, the Air Force specialists in the Black Military Industrial Complex (MIC) programs usually observe and keep a detailed log of the individuals abducted and tall gray activities involving the abductions. Sometimes, SSP personnel are present on these crafts, but not very often. As Goode has reported previously, the US military discovered that the tall grays could not be trusted early on, necessitating oversight. Once we developed our advanced space programs and could deflect the entry of unauthorized ships into our space, the tall grays had no choice but to allow US military observers on board their crafts. Goode was shown the tall grays' bases on the Moon, Mars, and deep underground on Earth. The reconnaissance delegation, including Goode, the Ansher, Mika, the Mayans, and the SSP alliance, observed an enormous base with thousands of tall grays on the Moon. They could see small grays and other genetically engineered biological machines doing physical work involving 4 primary and many other sub-compartmentalized genetic and spiritual programs. They also found 3 powerful devices that the Ansher said would be destroyed by the upcoming solar events. The delegation witnessed tall grays sending out drone ships operated by small grays who conducted genetic and reproductive experiments on humans, with MIC observers on board. Most of these abduction experiments took place aboard crafts, but in some cases, humans were taken to deep underground, joint tall gray and human Earth bases. The Ansher told the delegation that the tall grays were interfering in the natural spiritual development of the Earth, as many souls they abducted are star seeds. The tall grays monitored and manipulated the abductees via implants while sitting in chairs with glowing orbs on the armrests as control panels. They would abduct astral bodies during sleep to download experiences and information and implant energetic implants in eyes and other body parts. After stealing and storing pieces of their astral bodies and through physical and energetic implants, the tall grays could use the abductees as drones, controlling their behaviors and perception of reality. They would give the abductees distorted information to pollute society and the disclosure narrative. The tall grays used the same chair devices to capture people in astral or spirit form after death, download their experiences and information, and take fragments of their soul body. They would then triage the souls using 3 main devices in the tall gray command and control center, which Goode describes in his original report. The tall grays sent most souls and soul fragments that they intercepted back to Earth to reincarnate after energetic programming or to realms created by the deceased based on their religious and belief systems, heaven, hell, etc. Other souls that were determined to be here to aid humanity, think star seeds, were sent to various star systems. There were huge areas with tall grays in stasis-type chambers, whose souls were fragmented and inserted into the light bodies of the humans abducted in the astral to influence them during new incarnations. These are considered conscious energetic implants, which are similar to entity attachments. Many of the humans tall grays physically abduct are incarnated tall grays, allowing them to accomplish their agenda without breaking any cosmic agreements. The delegation also observed huge tanks with body parts floating in a broth-like amber fluid, which tall grays turned into a paste. They would scrape their skin with a knife and then rub the human paste on the scraped area and absorb the nutrients from the paste for sustenance. It is important to note that the Super Federation manages all activities within our galaxy, including the Orion Group's activities on Earth. However, when the Earth reached a certain level of awareness, the new guardians of our galaxy stepped forward as the facilitators of humanity's independence and right to manage our own genetic and spiritual development. In 2018, Sigmund, U.S. Air Force, MIC lower-level space program officer, who interrogated Goode, shared several hard drives containing databases on the entire Dark Fleet with the SSP Alliance. He was killed over this information. The ICC used Sigmund's information to place the entire solar system on lockdown to root out any security threats. In the next briefing, we will cover the Reconnaissance delegation visits to the interplanetary corporate conglomerate, ICC, bases on Mars, Moon, Antarctica, and the Super Federation bases close to Jupiter and Saturn during several different excursions, most of which occurred between April and August of 2021. Remember, in the end times, even the elect can be deceived. Discern now more than ever. Be patient, be strong. We are in this together.
This is Corey Goode, and this has been an official Secret Space Program Alliance update. For more updates, go to ascensionworkstv.com.